A buyer in November of 2025 picked up a 298 unit luxury apartment building in Uptown Charlotte for nearly 40% below what it would cost to build today. Sale price $94 million. Replacement costs in that submarket closer to $150 million. No Loopnet, no public listing, no bidding war. The seller, an institutional money manager called Wafra, quietly handed the deal to a private fund called Broad Creek Capital, who closed before most of the market even knew the building was on the table. One asset, 8 figures of instant equity, totally off market. That deal didn't happen because somebody got lucky. It happened because the buyer was sitting inside a pipeline that 99% of investors don't even know exists. I'm Andrew LeBaron. I've spent over a decade in commercial and residential real estate. I've closed over 150 acquisitions across multifamily, residential, office, land, so on and so forth. And I run a capital advisory firm that helps operators raise money for the deals nobody else can find. And right now, we are walking into the largest distressed real estate cycle since 2008. Not that kind everyone's predicting, not the kind you read on Zillow. A quieter, much bigger one, hidden inside the capital stacks of buildings that look completely fine from the outside. No distress, but there is distress. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll understand the 4 pipelines insiders use to source distressed deals before they list. And that's the key, before they get to the market. The single signal that tells you a building is about to become available 6 to 18 months early. And the reason this cycle is fundamentally different from any distressed wave we've seen in the last 30 years. Let me give you the numbers, because the numbers are what nobody on YouTube is actually telling you. CMBS multifamily delinquencies just crossed 7% in early 2026. That is roughly a 10x increase from where they sat just a few years ago. Special servicing rates are now north of 8%. Multifamily property values are sitting about 28% below the 2022 peak. Office is much, much worse. Some buildings are trading for 20 cents on the dollar, if you can believe it. But here's the part the headlines miss. This isn't a broken building cycle. This is a broken capital stack cycle. The property might be 95% occupied with strong rents. The roof's fine, the HVAC works, tenants are paying. The problem? The owner bought it in 2021 or 2022 with short-term floating rate debt at a 3% cap. The loan came due, rates didn't come down the way they bet they would. We were all there. They can't refinance, the bank doesn't want to extend. So the building has to trade. And this is the part you have to lock in. It almost never hits the public market because the moment a distressed deal goes public, 3 terrible things happen for everyone involved. The lender takes a haircut on a higher profile loss, the owner's reputation gets torched in front of LPs, and the broker pool starts a bidding war that drives the trade further off original basis. It's not good. Nobody wants that. Nobody wins. So they sell it quietly. The question is, quietly to whom? There are exactly 4 pipelines that sophisticated buyers sit inside to access these deals before they list. I'm going to walk you through all 4. Pipeline 1, the special servicer watch list. When a CMBS loan starts to wobble, the master servicer transfers it to a special servicer. The special servicer's job is to recover as much of the loan as possible. What most people don't realize is that this transfer happens months before any public foreclosure filing. There's a quarterly CMBS watch list that tracks loans showing early signs of distress. Debt service coverage falling below 1x, major tenant rolling, cash flow trapped, maturity defaults coming. That watch list is public. The TREP database, the CRED IQ database, even some free SEC filings show you everything you need to know. Sophisticated buyers do one thing with that data. They build a relationship with the special servicer's asset manager, not to buy, just to be on the call list when a property gets transferred for a resolution. When the asset manager finally needs to move the building, they don't list it. They call the 3 or 4 buyers they trust to close fast and quiet. That's pipeline number 1. The watch list gives you 6 to 18 months of advance warning. Pipeline number 2, the broker whisper network. Every market has a small group of investment sales brokers who handle the distressed work, not the loud billboard 50 million listing brokers, the quiet ones. They got hired by lenders, special servicers, and limited partners on the verge of forcing a sponsor out of a deal. Their job is to find a buyer without ever creating a public listing. How do you get into the whisper network? You do 3 things. You close, you don't retrade, and you don't talk. Those are rare. Brokers protect deal flow with the same intensity that hedge funds protect alpha. The minute you retrade once or leak a deal to a competitor, you're out of the Rolodex permanently. The buyers I know who consistently access this pipeline have a non-negotiable rule. They underwrite to a number and they hit that number at close. No exceptions. That reliability is worth more than capital. Capital is everywhere right now, right? A lot of dry powder. Reliability is not. Pipeline number 3, the LP forced sale pipeline. This one is the most interesting and the most undercovered. Most people think a distress deal means the lender forces a sale. That's only half right. In a lot of these 2021, 2022 deals, the limited partners, the people who put up the equity, are the ones forcing the sale. Here's what's happening. A sponsor raised $20 million from LPs to buy a $100 million apartment complex. Floating rate bridge debt, rate cap expired, cash flow flipped negative. The sponsor calls a capital call to plug the hole. LPs say no. Now you've got a sponsor who's technically still in title, but operationally bankrupt. The LPs want out. They want to recover what they can before the lender forecloses entirely and wipes them to zero. The LPs hire someone, sometimes a broker, sometimes a fixer, sometimes a recap specialist, to find a buyer who can come in, take over, recap the deal, and let the LPs walk away with 30 to 50 cents on the dollar instead of zero. Those deals never see the public market, ever. They get done in the family office circuit, in a few private Slack channels, and over dinners and industry conferences. Pipeline number 4, the receivership channel. When a lender finally pulls the trigger on a default, they don't usually go straight to foreclosure. In most states, that takes too long and costs way too much, and it's just a waste of time. What they do instead is petition the court for a receiver. A receiver is a third party appointed to take over operational control of the property while the legal mess gets sorted out. Receivers are usually experienced commercial real estate operators or specialized firms. Here's the alpha. Receivers know which buildings are actually going to trade, when and at what number, usually before the lender does. Building relationships with a small handful of CRE receivers operating in your market is one of the highest leverage activities you can do as a sophisticated buyer. Of course, you have to be a buyer who can close. When a receiver decides a property needs to sell to maximize lender recovery, they have enormous influence over who gets the call. Quick pause, because this is important. Every single one of these pipelines requires the same thing on your end. Capital that's already organized, already committed, ready to move. We're not figuring this stuff out when they call. You don't get into the special receiver Rolodex with a, let me see if I can raise the money attitude. No. You don't get into the LP back channel with a, I think I can pull together a syndication in 60 days. No way. You either have the capital ready to go or you don't get the call. This is what I do every day for operators at LeBaron Capital Partners. We help real estate operators and business owners build the systems to raise capital, organize their LP base, and stand ready to move when these kinds of opportunities appear, not later, now. If you've ever lost a deal because your capital wasn't ready or raised, that's the problem we solve. Link in the description. Back to the playbook. I promised you the single best signal that a building is about to become available 6 to 18 months early. Here it is. Loan maturity date. It's not occupancy, it's not rent growth, it's not even DSCR. The single highest correlation signal of distress in this cycle is a loan that was originated between 2019 and 2022 with a maturity date in the next 18 months. You could pull this data. TREP has it. CredIQ has it. Some of it is even free in the SEC filings for properties tied to CMBS. If a building has a 2026 or 2027 maturity, was financed at peak valuations, was bridge debt or floating rate, and the current rate environment doesn't pencil for refinance, that building is going to trade. Most of the time, quietly. Build a target list of 50 to 100 of these properties in your market. Track them, drive past them, build relationships with the people connected to them. You're not chasing deals at this point. You're sitting on the front porch waiting for them to come to you. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Off-market is not magic. It's not a secret club. There's no hidden website. It's relationships, capital readiness, and the discipline to track the signals nobody else is paying attention to. The investors who are going to make generational money over the next 24 months aren't the ones with the most capital. They're the ones with the best systems. Right now, it's a systems game. And with AI involved, it's a lot easier for this to work. Systems for tracking distress signals before they're public. Systems for studying the Rolodex of the small group of people who control the off-market flow. And systems for moving fast when the call finally comes in. That's the whole game. If you're an operator who needs to build that capital system to raise money, organize investors, and be the buyer that gets the call, that's the work I do. LeBaron Capital Partners builds raise readiness for serious operators. The link is in the description, along with our newsletter, the LeBaron Letter, where 24,000 commercial real estate professionals get this kind of analysis every week. Subscribe to the channel if you want more of this. Drop a comment with the asset class you're targeting in 2026. I read every single comment. Your friend, Andrew LeBaron. See you next time.